Welcome to ISM Raceway, originally Phoenix Raceway, now with the new name change and the starting of the new reconfiguration. We are here for 500 kilometers around this unique 1 mile long racetrack. Martin Truex has won the first two races. We'll see if he can go 3 in a row here at this bizarre racetrack. This is the last race with the start-finish line on the front straightaway before it's the back straightaway for this racetrack. And Kyle Busch on the pole for the second week in a row, looking to finally find victory lane in that Skittles Toyota Camry. Busch is one of the favorites for this race. He's yet to finish in the top 5 here at Phoenix in the last couple races, so can the 18 break that streak? Super Haas Racing, they are really good here today. All their cars starting in the top 10. Clint Bowyer outside pole. Kevin Harvick won here in the spring, the last time we were here at ISM Raceway. He's looking to get his second win consecutively in the spring. Martin Truex has won 2 races in a row, Atlanta and California. Hasn't dominated those races. He's not the best car today. Can the 78 be the first ever driver in Verizon Cup Series history to go 3 wins in a row? Certainly a good chance with him starting in the top 10. Jimmie Johnson, first start in the top 10 this year. He's had a horrible start to the season, not even getting a top 15 finish to start the season. Can Jimmie Johnson finally break that streak and get back to old Jimmie Johnson ways? He's starting 9th. We'll see what the 48 can do. With the engines fired, the cars are getting ready to roll off a pit road. And with that, we'll take a look at your Ticket Guardian 500 starting lineup here at ISM Raceway. In row 1, it's Kyle Busch next to Clint Bowyer in the number 14. In row 2, it's Kevin Harvick next to Brad Keselowski. In row 3, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, who won the Daytona 500. And in row 4, MTJ next to the elder Busch brother, Kurt Busch. Row 5, Jimmie Johnson next to Aric Almirola. And in row 6, it's Chase Elliott next to Ryan Blaney, 2 best buds. Row 7, Erik Jones and Michael McDowell, who had a great qualifying effort. And in row 8, Ryan Newman and Paul Menard. Row 9, Casey Kane next to Jamie McMurray. And row 10, Ricky Stenhouse and a bad qualifying effort for Kyle Larson. Row 11, Trevor Bayne next to Alex Bowman in the 88. And in row 12, Daniel Suarez next to Chris Buescher. Row 13, Ty Dillon next to A.J. Allmendinger. And in row 14, David Reagan in a bad qualifying effort for Austin Dillon. Willie B next to Bubba Wallace in row 15, row 16, Greg Gaulding and Matty D, and then rounding it out is Cody Ware in the 25 in row 17. Race facts, 312 laps, 312 miles, stage 1 and 2, 75 laps apiece, stage 3, 172 laps. The pit window, almost 100 laps, grip level, almost a 5, so it's very slick today in Phoenix. Green flag at the air, the new ISM Raceway. Three, 4 wide through the dog leg and off of turn 4. Kyle Busch will lead lap 1. Harvick now for the lead. Trouble in turn 3. That is Paul Menard and the 21, who's up into the outside wall. The first caution of the day, 25 laps in. Let's take a look at what happened to Menard. Looks like on the outside of Casey Kane, and the back end steps around on that race car. It's very hot here in Phoenix, 89, but that track temperature is almost 130 degrees. Menard simply got loose. The back end stepped around, and he's into the outside wall. He'll make repairs, but he'll be multiple laps down. Busch trying to take the lead away. We got a car around in turn number 1. That is Jamie McMurray. No damage on that number 1. Let's take a look at what happened. Looks like the same thing that happened to Paul Menard, but instead he did it in turn 1, a heavy braking zone, and a good job to get that car spun around immediately before coming back in front of traffic. Rough weekend for McMurray. Qualified around the back end of the top 20 along with Kyle Larson right there, his teammate. But thank goodness he didn't hit anyone in traffic, and he'll be able to continue. He'll grab 4 fresh tires, most likely with the rest in the field as we near the end of stage number 1. Kyle Busch will take stage 1 here at ISM. Busch, Keselowski, Harvick, Truex sneaking up into 4th already with Clint Bowyer, the top 5. Kyle Busch getting his, I believe, his 2nd stage win of the year. Busch nearing lap traffic, car on the wall, and that looks like a right front tire blown for A.J. Allmendinger, who has not had a good start to his season. Let's take a look at what happened to Allmendinger. Yeah, the right front goes out, and he goes hard into the outside wall in turn 3, right around where Paul Menard went around earlier. And that will most likely end the day for A.J. Allmendinger. Was running just outside the top 20, was looking for more track position later on, and unfortunately will not get any more. Coming around for 2 to go into the stage. We got 2 cars spinning in turn 1. That is David Reagan and Chris Buescher. The 37 and 38 have gone around. And again, someone getting loose and into the corner. And Chris Buescher unfortunately tagged David Reagan right there. Man, these conditions have been very challenging for the Cup guys as Chris Buescher, again, someone on corner entry getting loose and spinning. But that ends the stage, though, under caution. Harvick, Busch, Bowyer, Keselowski, Hamlin, the top 5. And you see guys like Almirola hanging on for more stage points. Bowman working his way to the front. And around goes Johnson, and he collects Michael McDowell. And a pretty good hit to the outside wall for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, who has never been really able to rebound from that speeding penalty in stage 1. This time, a car gets loose on corner exit, and Johnson on the inside of McDowell tags him. McDowell didn't hit anything, but look at Johnson tag the outside wall with the rear end of that race car. They're currently making repairs to the 48. Caution with debris with 93 laps to go, as the debris was in turn 4. Johnson trying to stay on the lead lap, and a caution for Gray Gaulding spinning in turn number 3. That's good news for Jimmy Johnson, as he'll stay 2 laps down. But looks like Gaulding on the bottom just got loose and got around in that 23. Man, handling has just been a huge issue for these guys today. But 4 fresh coming for Gray Gaulding, and most likely 4 fresh for the rest of the field as well. Harvick rockets away. Trouble! Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, and Ryan Newman makes severe contact with the 88 of Alex Bowman right off the restart. And all this because Denny Hamlin missed a shift. Looks like Bowman just tried to sneak under Blaney, made some contact, and in the end, Bowman spun himself around as well. That's a big hit for Newman. And this just stacked everyone up. Everyone was just looking for spots, and Bowman got too greedy, got into Blaney, and Ryan Newman was the innocent victim to that as well. And man, some chaos here late. Pretty big contact for Blaney and Bowman. But all 3 of those cars are out of the race with heavy damage. There's a huge twist here at ISM. Here comes Kyle Busch, and oh my gosh, what a hit for the 43 of Bubba Wallace. Man, that car hit hard. As a safety cruiser coming to the 43, he is okay after that hit. But, man, I think an oil line is broken on the 43. They've stopped the field on the front straightaway to clean up that oil that is leaking in turn 1. Look at the impact for the 43. That car gets almost off the ground. Man, I think all 4 were actually off the ground. But the 43 team saying they lost their brakes, which is exactly what happened to Eric Jones. But Jones was able to recognize it earlier and pull into the garage. Let me slow it down for you look at that hit. Man, that's almost harder than what we saw in Speed Weeks with the 17. Look at this in real time. Oh. But thank goodness Bubba's okay, and they're going to continue cleanup. Martin Truex will take the white flag. We have a yellow. Big crash in turn 3, and the yellow is out. And Martin Truex will make history with his 3rd win in a row to start the season. Let's take a look what happened. Watch the 17 get loose, get into Casey Kane. David Reagan nowhere to go, along with Michael McDowell. A big wreck, and Truex saw the white flag, which meant the race is over. Burn it down, Martin Truex Jr. This one fueled by Sunoco, fueling victories all season long. So a historic 3rd win in a row for MTJ, Harvick, Almirola, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer. 3 SHR cars inside the top 5 in this race. That's a pretty good day for SHR. Trevor Bayne, a good day. Jamie McMurray rebounding. And those cars that wrecked will still finish there. So guys like McDowell and Kane getting home in the top 15. Not a lot of cars were multiple laps down because there were so many yellows in this race. And you could see that with the DNS. Guys like Blaney, Alex Bowman on this slide were unlucky. Eric Jones, who went to the garage with brake issues, and A.J. Allmendinger had a right front down. Point standing, 16 playoff points for Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Busch, that should be 1 playoff point for the 18. He has 1 stage win, which came in this race. A lot of guys above the cut line, sitting pretty, but it's tied for the last playoff spot. Currently, Paul Menard in the 21 with 74 points, along with Ryan Newman with 74, and Daniel Suarez with 74. Menard is 4 above. Jimmy Johnson is still with only 61 points, and that 48, a huge surprise to see him out of the playoffs currently at this point. And Alex Bowman in the 88, last in points, trying to take over for Dale Jr. But the next race, the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway for the 1.5-mile racetrack over in Fort Worth. This is America's Sports Coverage, signing off.